Good morning. This is Lorraine Cohen, and I'm feeling guided from my intuition to talk this morning with you about what voice you're listening to. Are you listening to your mind voice? Or are you listening to your soul voice? I get asked that question a lot. How do you make that distinction? So here's a couple of ways that you can get a sense of who and what part within yourself is speaking to you. When you're listening to your soul's voice, there's a very distinctive feeling of expansion. And I oftentimes find that at the very center, energetically, is a sense of peace in my gut, a sense of peace in my heart. And there's a wonderful feeling, oftentimes, of excitement and curiosity. When I'm listening to the voice of my mind and the voice of my fear, it has a constrictive feeling in my body of tightness and tension, of anticipation, of stress. Very different energy than when I'm connecting to my heart, when I'm connecting to my soul voice. And oftentimes when we first make those connections to the whispers of our heart, which is our internal GPS, and I think we can also look at that, the intuitive part of ourselves comes from our divine feminine that exists inside of all of us. And when we get those intuitive nudges, sometimes they're loud, sometimes they're a little bit soft, and we can dismiss them, ignore them, talk ourselves out of things until finally we connect more with our mind voice that we're more comfortable listening to and trusting and believing. So what are some of the ways that our souls speak to us? Through synchronicities, through things that seem to come easily, through repetition. If you've ever had a message that seems to repeat 1, 2, 3 times, sometimes it's something that you've thought about and then somebody mentions it, or you see something on Facebook, or you get something in an email, and so it's like the universe saying, hello, hello, in case you missed this, here it is again. And then some other ways are just that feeling of, I just know what I know. I don't know why I know this. I just know this. Or there's this wonderful feeling of resonance. It just feels right. And that's comfortable. You have a confidence with that. One of the ways that we develop our intuition is by testing it. And the more that you do that in a state of curiosity, just to see what happens, the more you begin to develop a muscle, one of trust, one that becomes your guiding light. And one of the things that I have found, because I've been intuitive all my life, and over the years as I've worked with developing and refining that connection with my spirit, I've come to trust it and to live my life every day from that internal GPS. And some other ways that you might experience it, I'm just thinking of a friend of mine. She always gets the goosebumps. She always gets chills. Another friend sneezes after she seems to get some insights, or an idea just pops into your head. I'm mentioning some of these also for a particular reason. It's easy when you hear some of these different ways that your intuition can speak to you to feel that those are the only ways. And I found that it's different with each person. You may find that there are some similarities that I've mentioned. You may also find that there are different ways that your own internal brilliance communicates with you. I know one of the things that I've found over the years is that there's been some subtleties that have developed in the way in which my intuition speaks to me. It can be just an idea that seems casual that I realize was divine guidance. So I invite you to just be playful about how information comes through to you. And one thing that's really important is to let go of the attachment that you think your guidance is guiding you towards. We're so good at that. We feel something, we sense something is right, and we automatically come up with a story about what it must mean. If I'm feeling guided to do this, it must mean this, this, and this. And when things don't pan out exactly the way we picture it, we can dismiss our own intuition because we're not trusting it, or we can get disappointed because things didn't work out exactly the way that we wanted and we don't like it. So we can come up with a lot of reasons to discount the beautiful guidance that flows through us because of our own expectations. So when you feel that nudge, however it comes through, and I'll tell you, I had a nudge to do this video this morning. I wasn't planning on doing that. But, you know, when these nudges come, I try to follow them rather than to ignore them, because when it's really important, it really starts kicking up inside of my body. It's not very comfortable. So think about some of the ways that your intuition may speak to you, and let go of any concerns and fears that you may have about making a mistake. Because in truth, you never really make any mistakes, because everything that you experience in your life is contributing to who you are. Everything that happens is an opportunity for you to heal, to grow, to evolve, and that's a good thing. So when you're making decisions, take some of the pressure off. Take some moments to get still and quiet. Reach inside with a question that you might have. And what I oftentimes find is that as I'm thinking about the question that I want to ask, an answer automatically comes that I feel is definitely coming from my spirit. When there's a pause, I feel like it's my mind, my ego has gotten uncomfortable with the fact that no answer has come, and will rapidly fill in some information because it doesn't like the silence. And sometimes when you ask a question, you may not get an answer because you're being guided to be patient and trusting. So enjoy the journey. We're here to be happy, abundant, everything that you can think of, at peace, feeling love. And your greatest resource is you, your internal, divine, brilliant spirit that sees your life from a higher perspective than the capacity of your mind. And the more that you trust and test and follow that part of you that is coming from a place of love rather than from a place of fear, you'll always be guided well. Your spirit wants the best for you. Why wouldn't it? And it will never guide you towards anything to deliberately cause you excess pain or harm, even though some of the experiences we find ourselves in are uncomfortable, because they're part of our learning edge. They're part of our growth and our evolution. So be open to the ways in which the voice of your internal GPS speaks to you today and every day. And I'd love to hear what your experience is. If you have any comments or questions, please contact me at lorrainecohen.com. Have a terrific day.